Alright, now let's do some custom countertops. And to do that, we have to create what's called work planes. And we need to create these work planes from, in this case, we need to place them from the elevation, from like an elevation view. Of course, I'm just going to use a section to do that with. So I'm going to click on section. I'm going to save the project if it asks me to. And I am going to draw a section right across here. And then I'm going to go into that section. All right, there's my casework. And I am going to, where is that? I need to go to Architecture tab and then come over to Reference Plane. And I'm creating that reference plane just right across the top of those cabinets. And this is going to be top extrusion. Or actually, not extrusion. Let's just call it countertop plane. And okay, so we got the plane in there. We're going to go back to level 1. And we're going to do what's called a model in place right there. And of course, we're going to call it casework. And we're going to name it. And I'm naming mine Granite Countertops. And you don't have to do yours in granite. You can do yours in whatever finish you want. And I'm going to create the extrusion. Alright, right now this extrusion is basically going to be, if I'm reading this correctly, if I'm understanding it correctly, starting at 0, which is going to be on that work plane, and then extrusion end, which would be 1 inch. So these will be 1 inch thick countertops. So now I want to go to set, the set button right there, and I'm going to go to my countertop plane. Click OK. And now I just start drawing, and I can do an offset of 3/4 of an inch, or however much of an offset you want to do. What this represents is the amount that the countertop overhangs the rest of the cabinet. And of course, we have to remember too that Revit draws in a counterclockwise fashion. So if I want that overhang to actually overhang the counters or the cabinets, then I have to draw like this. Okay, that's clockwise. I did say clockwise earlier, didn't I? I thought maybe I said counterclockwise, but it draws clockwise. So there we go. Now, of course, on this end where you have your appliance, like your refrigerator, you do not have to have an overhang. So we can fix that. We can just scoot that in and just make it right there, on almost on top of the counter. Okay. And the material, you change your material right here, and I use this concrete lightweight. Because it looks a lot like granite, so that I just, I do that. And I can't remember, I because I was doing my floors, or no, there was something else I was doing with this, anyway. But we got concrete lightweight. Oh, and one other thing too is I forgot to do is we have to make this a closed loop. So the loop has to completely close like so for it to accept. Now I click the check mark and I should have some granite countertops. Click finish model and we'll go back and look at our handiwork. And I think I misread the extrusion information. I think it said 1 foot, not 1 inch. Well, let's pull it down to about 1 inch right there. And there we go, we're good. And just do that same thing to the rest of your countertops. And I think think we can do this with that same plane. Let's try that out. So let's try another countertop. Model in place, casework, and we're going to say call it granite countertop 2. I cannot speak clearly today. And I'm going to pick my plane. So I'm thinking this is still, I don't think I have to draw another plane over here. Extrusion. And double checking, and it did say 1 foot. So let's make that 1 inch. And same thing, we draw, and oops, I forgot to do the overhang. So select the line tool again and do this 1 inch overhang, or did I do, no, I did 3/4 before. 3/4 inch. And again, we want to draw clockwise. And I'll remove the offset from basically every side except for that front side. So I really would have saved myself some work if I would have just manually offset the front instead of having to go back and remove the offset from 3 different sides. And that's good right there. I have to move that wall in just a bit. Okay, so that worked. We do have countertops right there. Finish. And let's take this. I think we can rotate it. Or maybe not, I don't know. I think you can, but I'm not going to sit here and try to figure it out. So we'll just draw a different one. I want to do is I want to put a backsplash. I almost forgot to do that. All right, and we do the same thing. Component, model in place, casework, and I'm going to call this Backsplash 2. All right, and material should all be the same. I'm going to create the extrusion. It is the correct material. Extrusion end is going to be 4 inches. Extrusion start is going to be 0, but I got to go back and set my plane, countertop plane, and that tells me, there's probably going to need to be an offset there. So let's change the height of my extrusion to 5 inches. Okay, and that's how high it's going to come up off of the countertop going up the back of the wall. And I think I made my countertops 1 inch thick, so we'll extrusion start at 1 inch. And we need to do, no, we don't need an offset. Okay, so the extrusion would cover basically every bit of the countertop to where it would go up and mesh with the wall. And I should have done that a little differently. Let's do it this way. Start on the wall, come out, come around, all right, and what you can do is fix that. I should come a little further. Is you can do an offset. So we'll click on offset. Our offset will be not 1 foot, but 1 inch. Okay, and we'll just go around and offset this line 1 inch all the way around. And then we will create our closed ends. Because we've got to have closed loops. And then we'll create some corners by using the trim extend to corner. So here and here. Here and here. Okay, and let's see. Everything is correct. I remember setting my level. Okay. Alright, so there's our backsplash. I don't know what it will look like from this direction. You can see it, it's right there. And we can actually change our visual style to shaded. And now you can see there's that concrete countertop and backsplash, or not concrete, but granite. I just used concrete to represent the granite. Alright, so that is custom countertops.